floods. And there's a picture of former President John Mahama on the front page there. I'm most experienced Bawumia 2 delegates. November 4 is right around the corner. The NPP will be going to the polls to select their flag bearer. Court directs OSP to respond to Bisu's objection. On the front page of the Finder newspaper, EcoBank Ghana supports 2 deprived schools. Access Bank Ghana launches a Sandal More campaign to donate 13,000 sandals to school children across Ghana. GWCL posts 914.8 million Ghana cedis losses in 6 months, despite making significant strides in several key areas. Multinationals show little interest to train and equip locals in oil and gas sector. And that's coming from Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe. VRA commits 20 million Ghana cedis to support 36,000 spillage victims. And that's captured in page 10 of the newspaper. Gentlemen, over to you.
I'll start with the Ghanaian Times. The front page has upstream petroleum sector. A deputy speaker slams low local input after 10 years of content law passage. And military personnel not withdrawn from EPE operations is coming from the Navy. We need to train more specialist doctors in Ghana. And 493,400 visually impaired persons lack the white cane. Factory worker to serve life imprisonment for stabbing man to death is also on the front page. And the back page has the story about health facility managers urged to validate lab equipment. The center spread has that story about the upstream sector, and also the one about they need to train some more specialists. The Ghana Water Company story is also here. They made 1.2 billion cedi revenue in 2022.
The Daily Graphic newspaper on the front page, the big story is basic education needs dedicated fund. The Ghana National Association of Teachers advocates. There's also steel company create 10,000 jobs in 3 years. KT Hammond lots B5 plus will enforce local content laws. The Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku is saying Volta Chiefs launch relief fund for flood victims. You go to page 13 of the paper. Women cautioned not to keep mobile phone by their breast. That's according to the Daily Graphic newspaper. The back page of the paper has some Malcolm support graphic health screening, military nursing services. Access Bank donates 1,000 sandals to school children. These are the stories the Daily Graphic is reporting.
The front page of the Hawk. Manasseh sweeps 3 awards in Burkina Faso. Jean Mensah pushes for social media control on election day, and I have stashed dollars to buy votes. That's according to Alfred Obeng, who is MP for Bibiani and Mianso Bekwai. We also have Dr. Bawumia sets Northern Region afire ahead of November 4th election. Nam1 makes first 5 million payout to Ghana police. That's on the front page of the Hawk newspaper.
All right, let's kick things off from page 6 of the Daily Guide. First Sky Group storms Mepe with goodies and insurance. Now, the First Sky Group has demonstrated its commitment to corporate social responsibility by donating relief items worth 1 million cedis and providing an insurance package totaling 2.5 million Ghana cedis to victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage. This initiative is in response to the government's call for assistance from corporate entities to help alleviate the suffering caused by the flooding. The donated items presented to the displaced flood victims at the Best Care Hotel in Bato include 800 bags of rice, 250 mattresses, 2,000 bottles of sunflower oil, sugar, water, Milo, rolls of bread, sanitary items, toothpaste, toothbrushes, razor blades, buckets, clothing, bed sheets, towels, and rubber slippers, amongst others. Now, during the presentation ceremony, Eric Sedi Kutoche, the group chairman, emphasized the importance of supporting the flood victims who were impacted by the dam spillage. So some kudos going out to First Sky Group. I've been quite impressed with the swiftness with which they have attended to the people in Mepe, which we know has been hardest hit. The whole town, we're told, virtually submerged. And they've also brought in this element of insurance, which I think is a good thing. I'm querying whether or not the VRA also has that sort of insurance some type of insurance in place, I think that could also be quite beneficial in times like this, because we're still trying to ascertain if all of the right things were done. I'm not sure, gentlemen, if you've spotted that video making the rounds of the sanitation minister and the reactions to it. Mr. Blay, you spotted that video?
Yes, I mean, it's one of the stories that we touched on earlier, and I mean, I really don't know what to say about it. I mean, there's a way to communicate. My mom always says that you need to read the room. I mean, it depends on the mood, the situation, and what you have to say. I mean, in all of this, we should know that these are people who live in their homes, and it can happen to any one of us. I mean, if tomorrow I'm told that I should leave my home and go somewhere because there's water coming, I mean, I think my first question will be, where am I going?
That's right.
Where am I going? And if I'm not clear in my mind on that, it will be very difficult for me to just move. And so in the context of all that is happening, and anytime I see the visuals from the area, I really can't imagine how anyone could, for whatever stretch of imagination, think this is the right time to say that the people refuse to evacuate. I mean, we know that is not even true about the extent of the engagement with the community and even what sort of arrangements the state put in place. And I think it goes again to show how people in power generally think about the people they are supposed to serve.
Do you think that the minister should have come with some extra facts and information? So, for example, if she says we've had extensive engagements, she could have said maybe on the 4th of this, on the 2nd of that, we carried out these exercises. It was
still needless at that point in time. I mean, I think the communication generally could have gone by just making the point that, look, this thing has happened, it's unfortunate, we need to make sure it doesn't happen again. The people who are going, you see, she was complaining about government spending money there. The people who are going to donate to the place, are they complaining that the people refuse to move? That's the humanity that comes to bear around this time. Someone over there at this point, if you hear, this is what you are hearing in the morning, that the minister says you refuse to move. That's why your homes have been covered. Should they have carried their homes along?
And then you speak about reading the room. The sanitation minister is a professional PR person. I mean, she's just 1 year my senior in school.
I see.
She did PR. She studied PR. So it's not like she doesn't know what she's saying. She knows what she's doing. But at the end of the day, if, like Okujeto was asking, if you say we should relocate, and I've been saying on the show, if they had monitored the levels and they had gauged what was going to happen and they said they were going to relocate them, I'm sure the military could have set up some tents, on dry land, or prepared a place for them. Because you don't say they should relocate and evacuate to where? You understand? So that means that you haven't put the people at the center, as I've always said. You can't just say relocate. Look, this is their livelihood in their rooms. So it's not like you pack your laptop bag and you're moving. They're supposed to pack their furniture, everything, and move where? It's not easy like that. So if you come and make a statement like this, it's as if you're just scratching their wounds, So some of these comments, they should just, if you have nothing to say, it's better you keep quiet. So that you don't go and rough them up like
every communication post the disaster has been extremely bad, from the vice president's lack of presence there to the president going there that late and the comment the president made. The only good thing is maybe the relief efforts that they are getting, but beyond that, you could extend it to the military movement that did not happen again. And now we're seeing the sanitation minister saying these kind of things. The communication to relieve these people beyond the mattresses that is going on, the psychological trauma they are going through, all the counseling that they need, the encouragement they need to get back on their feet, everything by government in terms of communication has been extremely, extremely bad. And it is time maybe they relook at how government will communicate to residents or to the population when they are in distress, because so far it has not been good at all.
And to think about the fact that there was this North Dakota team, the Coast Guards, who came. And I'm saying that where they come from, or there's always this hurricane, tornado. So so what did they tell our people when they came? What knowledge did they share with them? And this is what we always say, that our leaders travel all the time. But they don't bring the knowledge that they go for those conferences, workshops and things. They don't bring it down because we don't see it. This time you didn't travel. The people traveled here. They did a simulation exercise with you and they taught you A, B, C, D. They didn't implement anything. Well, this is America we are talking about. Then this book came from America. They didn't come from a place where this thing hasn't happened in the last 13 years. No spillage. And there's never been a devastation like this. And so they have been seeing it, and that's why you invited them here. So what did they come and tell them? And they haven't shown that they have benefited from that interaction with the people from the US at all.
Because the questions that remain: what were the plans for the aftercare? So granted that we didn't have a choice. We're being told to applaud the VRA because they've preserved the integrity of the dam. Had it not been for their intervention, we could have had a much worse.
Didn't get full one morning.
That's right. I mean, interestingly as well, Ghana Met will tell you that as of June, there were warning signs that we're experiencing rains that are 6 times higher than what we've seen from the previous year. So armed or cloaked with that information, knowing that it's June and we're recording 6 times higher than we did last year. What was done with that information so that we didn't have to get here? Because I was listening to Honorable Samuel Okututo Ablakwa yesterday, speaking very passionately. He says these communities have been alive for over 200 years before actually the VRA moved in, before the dam moved in, before all of that.
In fact, I saw a documentary on Twitter following the construction of the Akosombo Dam and how a lot of people who lived along the dam, they had to be relocated to a whole different area, completely different. And so that tells you how long the people have lived in that area, and they've been forced to move, and they are being forced to move again. I mean,
that's
because
right.
The water, we don't know how soon the water will.
These are not squatters. These are rightful owners.
Yeah.
These are not squatters. We'll be sticking the steam on this particular issue as we delve into some of the comments that were made yesterday and some of your own reactions to what the minister had to say. Very interesting indeed. But sticking on this still, page 3 of the Daily Guide, MPP slams Mahama for politicizing Volta floods. The flag bearer of the opposition, National Democratic Congress, and his party executives have been slammed for politicizing flood victims' misery by the New Patriotic Party after they used the issue to criticize the government. Severe flooding has hit some areas in Volta and eastern region and towns and villages along the lower Volta River enclave, with Mepe being the worst affected after a spillage from the Akosombo and Pong dams. With Ghana just a year and 2 months from the general election, the NDC was quick to try and seize on the impact of the floods, creating the impression that the government does not care. Mr. Mahama and some notable members of the NDC have created the impression that if the floods had happened elsewhere other than the NDC stronghold, a state of emergency would have been declared. I'm quoting here: "It is clear that the scope and scale of the flooding of communities along the Volta River is bigger than our crippled economy can bear. I recommend to the government to declare a state of emergency in the affected areas and request relief assistance from our bilateral and multilateral partners immediately," the NDC flag bearer wrote on his Facebook page. Now, Dr. Atufo, the minority leader in parliament, and his colleague Samuel Okututo Ablakwa, MP for North Tong, have accused President Akufo-Addo of being insensitive, pleading with him to apologize to flood victims for his humorous comment that they did not vote for him. That's how the Daily Guide also captures the other side of the conversation. And I'm
Humorous
sure, gentlemen,
comment.
you've seen these comments also being made. I hate that for almost every discussion that comes into the public domain, there's the element of politics, even at a time like this. Well, especially at a time like this when the more pressing issues involve making sure that the people in these affected areas go back to their normal lives.
But what sometimes I struggle to understand why people have issues with this. The individuals who are speaking are politicians, and we have less than 1 year to election, and so every activity they will try to persuade people to vote for them.
Yeah,
I mean, so that we shouldn't reduce the conversation to that. If you do that, then you are trying to push away from what is. Because if the NDC get the opportunity, they will do politicking. If the MPP get the opportunity, they will do the same. What is on the ground? Who is responsible? Who hasn't done what? That's what we should be concerned about. As to somebody doing politics with the ABCD, I mean, what is politics in the first place? Every major decision that is taken in respect of this disaster must be a political decision, because we have political actors in that space. The MP is a politician. He's the one leading the charge. The district chief executive is a politician. The president is a politician. Why was everybody asking the president to go there? Because he's the leader of the state, and he is there as the father of the state. But underneath that, he's a politician. Every statement that you make, and that's why I didn't want to put too much premium on what he was saying. aside the psychological impact.
Sure.
Because if we do that, we will deviate from the technical direction that we need in respect of what must be done. Because this morning we are hearing another politician saying that the people were asked to move, they didn't move, or they hesitated to move. Then is that politicking too? No. We have to interrogate that. If you say they should move, where are they moving to? Asking that question is not political. That's a realistic question that we have to ask. And so when we begin the conversation with who is doing politics with what, every opportunity that any politician gets across the board, he will use it to persuade you and I to vote for them, because they always want to look good. At the end of the day, if the president speaks, the president is not an economist. That's why he has his finance minister, he has his head of economic, so and so and so. But when he speaks and we try to say, oh, he's being politics, well, somebody may argue with me and say, that's not the place. I don't want to have that conversation. People are dying. So far, they say we haven't recorded any death directly from the floods, right? How do we preserve lives? That's what we should be talking about. I mean, somebody who come and put on the table politicizing the issue. If they get the opportunity, would they do the same?
See, you can't stop them from saying what they want to say. Yeah. That is up to them to say it. Yeah. I mean, regardless how good it may sound or how unwarranted it may be or how improper it may be at that particular time, you cannot stop them from saying it. But it should not in any way, just like William is saying, let us swear away from the crust of the matters. We're talking about the disasters.
Well, for those of you who didn't hear what Honorable Dr. Frida Prempeh had to say, let's take a quick listen and then we'll come back to the discussions.
Taking up the issue as quickly as possible, because we don't want has happened at Akosombo to happen to us in Accra. National security for the Akosombo spillage, even though VRA, NADMO, the Water Resources Commission came together to educate the people in the community, did simulation exercises with them, even at Mepe. Yet they refused to leave. They didn't want to be evacuated. They stayed there till the end when we started spilling. Unfortunately, look at what is happening. And government has to spend millions of money on relief items, on education. The whole area, the water is contaminated. And what Ghana Water and Water Resources Commission would have to spend money, millions of money to treat the water before we can pass it through our pipes. So a stitch in time saves nine. But sometimes it's difficult to accept the situation. But we will plead with all of you to accept it as it is. And, let's all come together and ensure that we have safe.
While I'm living, thanks I'll be giving.
Portions of our land for these two dams to be constructed. I mean, the level of ignorance is shocking. They should stop embarrassing themselves. That the people refuse to move. Move to where? Move to the classrooms where my people are now. Classrooms. She should show us where they constructed for my people to move to. Where did they build as safe havens for my people to live to?
Progress on the show this morning. So that is the comment from the Sanitation Minister, and also a response there by Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa, MP for North Tong. It's getting hotter and hotter, and in fact he says that when Parliament resumes, we'll all see where the real showdown is going to be. He says some answers are going to be demanded. Very interesting. I can't wait for Parliament to reconvene.
If they're demanding the answers and they don't provide the answers, what can they do to them? You ask for the answers. I'll demand the answers. But if I don't get it, what are you doing to me? You understand? So it means we should move beyond Parliament wanting this one to appear, giving me updates and all. If the updates do not happen, there should be a reason that will compel them to give the answers.
I was telling you yesterday, I can give examples of parliamentary probes that didn't come to anything. there was a probe about absentee MPs, Adjo Asafo and the rest. There was a whole parliamentary probe.
That's right.
What became of it?
And who were the actors involved? Were they no politicians?
Yeah.
Anytime politicians come together to address any social risk, any social problem, it will be politicized.
Exactly.
Anytime they come together, and this one, whatever you spoke about, even this police probe, I know people not politicized.
Yes.
Correct.
It has become NDC MPP. True. Yes.
That's right.
So
because the people involved are politicians.
Yes. So we shouldn't come and be wasting time on those people. Someone will just throw in that thing, then responsibilities will be just pushed under the carpet. Look, the government failed? Yes, the government has failed. If it hasn't failed, let's say so. But where I sit, I'm saying that the simulation exercise that was done in May and all that went with it, and what we are seeing on the ground right now, I cannot give them any better mark. Finish.
What mark are you giving them today out of 100?
Well, everybody knows it is not for me to
their
say.
CGPA is less than 1.0.
Oh,
so
my
we are being
goodness.
withdrawn.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you say look, if this thing happens elsewhere, you see tracks sitting down, picking them to places, visible places.
Yeah.
If they had any plans, why are the people now asking to be moved to Sagleme? Why? Because they don't know where to go, but they have identified the place. Even that, the same the responses didn't come from private enterprise. The first person to respond was the regional minister. He's a politician. And other people have also responded that, look, we can't take you there. And the place is still there. If they go, they'll use 1 week or 2 to clean the rooms. They can have some brick and mortar to live in, rather than just hanging around classrooms and open windows and mosquitoes and stuff like that. So we should be serious about, putting people at the center of event. Look, if you drop one American on this land, you don't drop him well. They will come for us, the whole country.
That is true.
That's how you become a proud citizen. Because in Ghana, everything has become, you are on your own situation.
That's right.
Everything. If you are sick, you are on your own.
That's right.
If disaster strikes, you are on your own.
That's right.
If your road is rough, you are on your own.
That's
Nothing
right.
is coming from the government. And now they say this GOG is even become the grace of God. Exactly. If you go to the ministries, you go there this morning and ask any public servant or civil servant what GOG means. Grace of God, because they will read the budget.
Government of Ghana.
No. They will read the budget and give you huge numbers, figures. But on the ground, it's just by the grace of God that you get some allocation coming for you to operationalize your activities as a ministry.
This is true. My dad says this every single day. He says Ghanaians are progressing in spite of the government, not because of the government.
No. So if things like this happen, you sit back and say, look, this disaster has happened and this is how the government is behaving. If I'm sick, when I'm sick, what is going to happen to me? And people are just beds. They don't have beds to put people on. And these are issues that the government should be interested in, and not who is politicizing what. You came to be a president, vice president, the minister because of politics, not because we were selling in the market.
That's right.
And so when the issues come, let's push that thing aside and address the issues. As we were mentioning, you have to read the room. And I'm telling you, I know for a fact, it's not that I've heard. I saw her on campus. 1 year, my senior. She's a PR practitioner. Go and read her profile. She went to Ghana Institute of Journalism. She did public relations. So she can't tell that she doesn't know how to speak in public. You understand what I'm saying? And that's a fact.
Absolutely. Well, in about 3 minutes, we'll be opening up the phone line so that you too can let us know what is going on in your community. But Mr. Blair, I see that you've opened up the papers. Any stories piquing your interest, gentlemen? Let's end with a story or two.
There's one story. It just reminds me of primary school. They said Ghana can rake in more revenue from cassava to transform economy. Primary school social studies, one thing they taught all of us is add value to raw materials.
That's right.
I've grown, so I'm still seeing this all over the place.
The value, you're not seeing the value that has been added as yet.
It's just like something that if you pick any primary school book, you see it inside, value addition. And we are still talking about it. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, there are so many problems. We just don't know where to even start.
I say this all the time. We're living in a poly crisis. So sometimes do bear with us. The issues are many. In fact, at some point, we have to get back to our money conversation because the IMF is still waiting on some 1 or 2 before we can get that next tranche of money. A lot for you and I to sink our teeth into. Time check. It is some 12 minutes past the hour of 7. You're still live here on 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Very shortly, I'll plug the phone lines. Let's hear from you. What is happening in your community?
While I'm living, thanks I'll be giving. The most I know. I'm a living while I'm living, to the Father I will pray. Only Him know how we get through every day. Only I give the price. I'm a
village, right? There's a report from Modern Ghana in what do you call it? On the 1st of November 2010, the water level at Akosombo Dam was 277.7 feet, more than what we had on the 15th of what they call it, September 2023. The water level on the 15th of September 2023 was what? 272 feet. So you see that 2010's water level of 277 feet was more than that of what they call it, this year's own. So what was the measures taken in 2010 that we didn't experience what we are experiencing now? I didn't get what I'm trying to say.
Papa Bisu, great questions to ask. I'll have you pause that for me so I can take some calls. We're asking what's going on in the various communities. But
yes, it's
yes.
my concern about
Sure.
this type of national community. I'm telling you. I get it. So it's a serious issue.
Absolutely.
We have to discuss it.
We'll get into the meat of the matter.
Me?
I understand you,
And
Papa
when we are
Bisu.
saying there's a conspiracy theory going on that they intentionally did that to cause havoc, to displace people.
Papa Bisu, we don't have evidence to that. This comment,
we are thinking aloud.
Papa Bisu, I agree with that. You are thinking aloud. I've heard this comment across the board, but Papa Bisu, park your sentiments for me, please. We'll get into those issues as the show progresses. This is Community Voices. We're asking you to let us know what is going on in your community. Papa Bisu says the national community at large. Very well. We'll speak about those issues during the Voice of the People segment. Hello, good morning. Who's speaking? Where are you calling us from?
Good morning, my coffee mate.
Good morning, coffee mates. Kosami, hope you're well.
I'm fine. I regard to Willie and the other Akabli.
Sure.
I think we always have very effective and very sensitive in your studio.
Thank you.
Always the substitution has been great.
Sure, Kosami, what's going on in your community?
Thank you very much. As I always say, it's about faith and layout in our community. Kwame Nkrumah started building Nima when he named Nima city within the city. He started from Kanda. I don't understand why, after Kwame Nkrumah, he cannot continue what he started. When you want to start it, as some people are politicizing things that are happening. We located Nima to Virginia side and started developing Nima. We were proving those who are saying that we are politicizing, people are politicizing things today. Politicize that development of Nima. And today, look at where we are. They came in and they are coming to village you. They want to turn Nima into village you. What happened? Then second issue is about food. 3, the Nima gutter I'm talking about. I'll see with 3 FM on that gutter.
You talk about the storm. You reminded us about that. The storm drain, you mean?
The storm drain.
Sure.
What is happening there? I'm telling you, the next government comes in and they want to construct the gutter. We have spent a lot. But relocating people again. And then, the thing they did about filling the size of the storm drain is going to cost us a lot. Why should we sit down for this? We have 2 MPs within that gutter. None of them is speaking. None of them is raising the issue in Parliament. And I'm worried. Just to have leaders who are sitting down and these things are happening in their face. And you come in with your government. Is it because of vote that you cannot speak? That's the end about look, the politicization of issues. We should always blame the UP tradition and politicizing, development issues in this country. Started from Kwame Nkrumah up to date. What didn't they say? How did they deceive us to overthrow Kwame Nkrumah? How did they deceive us to vote out Rollins in power?
Kosami, round up for me, please.
Have a blessed morning.
Have a blessed morning, Kosami.
The next time will come out, I will give the history of politicization of these things in this country.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Look forward to it, Kosami. Hello, good morning. Who's speaking? Where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning, my sister.
Good morning, Pastor Dewale. Hope you're well.
Oh, by the grace of God.
Sure. What are your issues this morning?
My greetings to you and your crew. I have two quick issues, my sister. And I
Sure.
want you to take a note of the second one.
Okay,
The
we're
first
taking a
one
note of
to
it.
Me, thank you. The first one to me is no more a news. I mean, the weeds within our highways, especially in between. I mean, the grass, that of the Kasua Highway, Malam now, they are now turning forest and bush. There are no more grass. Even yesterday, a child was trying to cross, my sister. I have to quickly just dash to step that child. But the child could not be seen at all. Just imagine crossing from one side to the other. And the minister once upon a time told us, the Minister of Highway, every 2 months, these weeds will be cleared off. Now that of this highway is no more grass by their bushes. There is a school at a community known as Iron City. This Iron City already, Iron City, yes, please. Geographically is being contested, part being that of Central Region, and part also being that of Greater Accra within Jan South. So there was this Anes school that was built, government school, is known Iron City NSB. And during the COVID, in fact, they have to run shifts because of their numbers. Since then, government at least, there have been this additional classroom constructed. Dual desks have been brought, but it have been locked. And it's alleged that they are waiting till next year campaign time before it will be commissioned. And it's being contested between Honorable Howard Kumsi. He claims that area is a before within her domain, which is central. That of Greater Accra South is also contested. And our children are suffering. They are running shifts. My sister. They have to go to school in the morning, close in the afternoon. Some have to go. And it's not helping matters at all within the same community. So in fact, I will be media general, I'll be so happy if you can intervene. Because classroom cannot be built. There should be it should be locked. And the same community too, they have a mini market. They have a public toilet. They have all closed it up, waiting for election time. And the people are just defecating Iron City, what I'm telling you. Not far from Kasua.
Sure.
Just opposite of this in English amount.
Okay, perfect. We've made a note of that, and we'll respond accordingly. Hello, good morning. Who's speaking and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Maxwell.
Good morning, Maxwell. Where are you calling us from this morning?
I'm calling you guys from North Kaneshi.
North Kaneshi. What are your woes this morning?
I have a little story to share with you. I was born in Akusumu. I grew up in Accra here, but I had friends. I had time to play in Akusumu. And what the ministry, what was her name? Madam Pempe.
That's right.
What she was saying, yes, what she was saying is actually not right, because if they have really, really gone to the communities to educate them, I know all the way from Marine to Abume, all the way to Tosca, Manguase, to Accra, to banana farms, all the way to Tom. These are communities that people have been staying there for a very, very long time, especially Abume, where we all go in for our wavy hub. Early in the morning, that is where we all go to the fishermen to get our wavy from. And they are very close to the river. When I say very close, people wake up actually and fetch the water like this to wash their face, straight into the same river. That is how close they are. So if you are telling us that you've been there to educate them, and people have become ministers of sanitation for a very long time, people have become CEOs of VRA for a very long time, and the dance police has happened before. So why didn't we see this situation like they are saying now?
Maxwell.
What is she trying to tell us? Because if he really had a chance to play alongside the flower, that is how we call it. It's not called Votalik in Nakoso, it's called a flower. If he really had a chance to play there, you would see that people are really close to the river. Sometimes when they spill it, all we can see is this beautiful rainbow telling us that, yes, God is telling us that I'm not going to destroy your community with water again. That is all we see. And I said that we see like bountiful and catches of fishes, plenty fishes to be caught. So what is he trying to tell us, that he went there to educate them for the people to move? To move where?
Great question, Maxwell. Thank you so much for your call this morning. We'll be diving into those issues and others as the morning progresses. We also have the Voice of the People segment, where we focus on all of the issues that have been discussed. So Papa Bisi, if you're still listening, we can have that discussion during that segment. The Community Voices segment is solely targeted at hearing from you as to what the issues are in your particular community. Anything you want us to get further clarification on, we're happy to do so. We're compiling all of this, so do have some patience for us. Hello, good morning. Who's speaking? Where are you calling us from?
Good morning. My name is Esther. I'm calling from Tema. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just have a take on this voter issue. I'm actually a voter myself.
Sure.
This is kind of a degree of history for us when I analyze this. The exodus of the Ewe people from Northeast, we under a cruel ruler, and something like this happened. And I feel like history is repeating it. If my Ewe people can analyze what's going on now, I feel like Ghana is standing us, and I don't really understand why. A while back when the voter people were trying to separate themselves, no, I agree. But that's beside the point. The case now is we have to find a way forward and survive on our own. So I'm appealing for all Voltarians outside. Let us help our brothers and sisters, and let us just, honestly, the government is not going to do this. I'm down with this government. There's no hope. Oh, God has no hope. God has no hope. So let us help our people. Let us overcome this struggle, and it will be stronger afterwards.
Fantastic. Thank you for your submissions. We'll park it here for the voice of the people, beg your pardon, community voices, where you call in, let us know what is going on in your particular community. We'll go on a very quick break. And when we come back, Kelvin Owusu Ansah is here. He'll be giving us an update of all what's happening in the world of sports. Do stick with us. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
My name is Diana Hamilton, VGM.